place.
I'm here with Depauw University President Robert Bottoms. President Bottoms, what does a game like this mean to Depauw?
Well, first off, I think it means a lot to our players just to have the opportunity to play in a game for the 100th time. I think it means a lot to the players to play before this many people in a Division III game. And certainly if you look around the stands today, it means a lot to the alumni. There are a lot of former players back, a lot of former coaches back. We're all having a wonderful time. We want to score a few more points and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, President Bottoms. We'll be right back after this break. Keep watching the Depauw University Monon Bell Network.
All right, it's a wonderful day for football. We want to thank those of you who have taken the time to dial our number in support of this game. The telephone number to support this football game between Wabash College and Depauw University, the 100th anniversary of the
rich in spirit, well known for the achievements of our alumni and the atmosphere on our campus.
When I visited here, I visited several classes and instantaneously fell in love with the learning that goes on here. It was something that was really tangible. You could feel it.
Look around. Look at the colleges that would shape your future. This one is different.
A lot of people say that society defines for you where you're supposed to be, but that's not the case. Wabash teaches you that you can go as far as you yourself determine.
Come to Wabash for freedom and academic muscle.
Someone who wants a serious academic environment, that they definitely want to find something that interests them, and then they'd be able to really concentrate on it.
You'll find expectations and support.
The key would be the ability to receive information, organize it well, and then to be able to do something with that information that's interesting and communicate what you've done. And as they start out as freshmen, they have trouble doing that, but as they get to be seniors, they realize that they can do that. And I think that breeds the self-confidence that we see in our seniors.
In my advising group, I always have one or two seniors who can buddy up with underclassmen and give them a sense of what they should be doing.
Wabash always fights, and victory is sweat.
So there is a sense of pride and distinction. It's not just I go to Wabash, but people will say I am a Wabash man. It's as if in some way it has changed you. It has attached this adjective to your very being.
When they see a Wabash degree, they should know that you worked to get it.
Well, I'm fortunate to coach in an environment where the young men are goal-oriented. They take away a sense of confidence, a sense of accomplishment, a lack of fear of what's ahead. They're not afraid to go into new and untried areas.
I'm trying to keep the broadest mind I can towards the future.
And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that the young men that I work with are going on to greater rewards than a gold medal in some event.
You choose the field that you're going to be in so that you can help make changes.
They're going to be gold medal in character. They're going to be mayors. They're going to be leaders in industry. And that's the kind of young men I'm proud to work with.
Wabash has given me the skills to accomplish a lot more than I had ever dreamed of myself accomplishing when I was a senior in high school.
When I give my little lecture, I say Wabash is a distinctive liberal arts college. And then at the end, I tell them it's all male. I'd like to get that out clear because a lot of coaches say, well, is that still an all-boys school? I say, no. We leave the boys at home. This is a men's college for those that want to be something in life. And we have a campus full of men like that.
Look at the colleges that would shape your future. This one is different.
That's the thing. A lot of people say that society defines for you where you're supposed to be, but that's not the case. Wabash teaches you that you can go as far as you yourself determine.
Good job, Dave. Good job, Eric.
I'm here. Thank you, Bob. I'm here with President Andrew Ford, the 14th president here at Wabash College. President Ford, this is your first Monon Bell game. How do you feel?
It's unbelievable. An absolutely incredible experience. I've never seen anything like it. What really makes it special is that you have here people going all the way back to the class of 1926 and young people in arms of their parents. It's really unbelievable.
Great. Thanks a lot, President Ford. Now back to you in the booth, Bob.
We're at halftime with the Wabash Little Giants, a couple of them just making their way out onto the field. The Giants hold a lead of 13-5. There's been only the one big play in a Chris Ings touchdown run of 1 yard. 3 field goals got us started in the first quarter with Wabash taking a 3-0 lead on a 39-yard field goal by Costa. Fingerhut made it a 3-3 game on a 30-yarder. Costa comes back with another field goal, and it's 6-3. Then came the high snap over Sean Frazier's head that set up the safety for Depauw to make it 6-5, and the one big touchdown drive. Statistics, well, there's some very interesting ones. Probably, Joe, I see the stats, -6 yards rushing. There's no way I believe that. Somebody's made a mistake. Depauw's rushed for 103. Somebody had to have flip-flopped those.
Well, I wish that were the case, but obviously it is not. 103 to -6, just an unbelievable disparity in the rushing yardage, and part of that is because of the high snap on the punt. Rushing yardage is lost there. And then the passing yards, again, that looks like a flip-flop, but obviously it is not. The difference in the game, as we expected all week long, was the turnovers. The Depauw defense has not been spectacular, but they have done exactly what they needed to do. That is force turnovers to give Chris Ings and the offense the football. They've capitalized with 10 points on the 3 turnovers.
Yeah, the first turnover gave Ings and company a chance to drive the length of the field for a field goal. As you can see, Chris has thrown the ball 13 times, completing 10. That's pretty good percentage for 117 yards. Lansu's over 50% at 8 of 15, Scott, but the 2 interceptions, Scott McGregor from Depauw with us, obviously the one early in the game, field position, it didn't hurt him very much, but the 2 interceptions have been the difference.
That's right. Brian Lansu has had pressure on him all day. One of those interceptions caused by pressure. Another one was just tipped before Jay Pettigrew could come up with it. But if the Tigers are going to come back and win this ball game, they're going to need Lansu to step up. We're going to look at the rushing comparison. Sean Gardner is having a big day for the Depauw Tigers. 15 carries, 65 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, and that is without Ronnie Herman in the ball game. Gardner has been switched to the tailback position. Out of fullback, is doing a great job.
You don't know how much Cogan's knee has bothered him, but the 8 carries for 17 yards, certainly un-Cogan-like. Snively and Melchior each with 3 receptions. Eric with 41 yards and Mark with 18. Neither one of them scored, but Snively's 25-yard catch certainly did set things up. The biggest play in the first half to me, the single play, if you're looking at offense, was the little screen to Cogan. He runs by 1 and over 2 and gets the ball to the 1-yard line that set up Ings' touchdown, a 1-yarder. Depauw heading back toward the field right now. Somebody asked me at halftime, can Depauw win this game? Obviously they can. They're not out of this thing at all, and they've moved the football very well. They just have to stop turning it over.
One thing that I think has to concern Nick Morozes is they had an opportunity to score, either tie the game or get to within a couple of points going to the locker room. A couple of mistakes. They ran out of timeouts, and I really have to think that took some wind out of the Depauw Tigers' sails.
I think the other thing that took something out of him was the great effort by Kuna, and he just doesn't quite come up with it. Take a look at some of the key plays in the first half and what happened as a result of them as the Depauw players come back. This is that little screen pass to Cogan. Ings going back does a good job of looking off his receiver. He's still not looking at Cogan. Finally, he swings it out in the flat. Now watch the move Cogan puts on to move around 1. Gets the ball now, runs over some people to get down to the 1-yard line. Great effort by David Cogan out of Zionsville. some pretty good tackling. There wasn't any missed tackles on that play, just a great effort.
Another key on that play, too, was the play of the offensive line, and we'll take a look at a good offensive line surge here as Chris Ings goes over the top behind center Brad Hoover to score the game's only touchdown for Ings. That was his 7th touchdown via the rush on the 1993 season, and there you see Ings in celebration. That touchdown set up by 2 great plays from the offensive lineman, especially left guard Andy Dorrell, a 6'1", 235-pound senior, and center Brad Hoover, a 260-pound sophomore.
Depauw is already back out on the field, and Wabash in the end zone down to our right. They are about ready to come back. It's 13-5 in favor of Wabash. We're going to take this short break. This is the Monon Bell Television Network.
On the next, I'll Fly Away.
How about dinner this weekend? I'll cook.
Man's actions are his own burden, his own reward.
I've been arrested. Did the police just come and get you?
They snatch you off the street or out of your bed and they lock you up.
The only unforgivable sin is recklessness.
I propose that this weekend we play murder.
Next time on Mystery, an innocent game takes an ironic and deadly twist.
The body had already been examined before I arrived.
What?
By one of the guests.
You won't get away with this, Rankin. You're just relieved someone got rid of him for you.
Patrick Malahide is Inspector Allen on Mystery.
At last, something fits.
You're watching Northwest Indiana Public Television, Channel 56.
One touchdown. What do you see that's pleasing you right now?
Well, number one, we have to stop those turnovers. There's no question that they've scored on every one of our turnovers so far. We just got to hang in there and keep moving the ball, and if we don't make any mistakes, we can put the ball in the end zone. That's what we're trying to do.
Sounds good. Good luck with the rest of the game.
Thank you very much.
That's Nick Moroses, the coach of the Depauw Tigers. Again, both teams meeting at midfield. Again, we have one thing we're going to tell you about right now. The scoreboard to our right in the end zone is out. So we're going to have to hopefully get some time left by just by folks letting us know how much time is left in the quarter and the yards and that kind of thing. Brent Harris, who's keeping our stats, has been outstanding at getting us information, so we'll keep relying on him as well. Scoring by quarters, Wabash in the third quarter has really had a problem. Not so much as Depauw. Depauw outscored by 52 points in the third quarter. Keep in mind, both teams have outscored their opponents in the fourth quarter. So the third could be a very, very big key for both teams here. Wabash and Depauw have had trouble in third quarters. We'll see which one of them has the best third quarter today.
Wabash is going to get the ball to start the third quarter, and I think, Bob, imperative that they get points on the board right off the bat here in the third.
They've got the wind advantage in the third quarter. They need that. They lead it by the score of 13-5. Scotty, Depauw obviously has to try to get field position. One way is force the quick 3 and out.
That's right. The defense is going to have to step up really big on this drive. And as we see the dead scoreboard, as Bob mentioned, hopefully we will be getting some time updates from people up here in the press box. But the third quarter is going to be key for the Tigers, but they are a very good fourth quarter team. They came back. Their 2 wins this year both came in the fourth quarter against Hanover, and then an excellent game against Taylor as they win on the last second field goal. So the second half has been good for the Tigers, and they're going to have to step up and play big here.
Chris Wiesehan goes deep, but again, he'll be up at around the 10, maybe the 12-yard line to accept this kickoff. And for Depauw, Patrick Evans will be doing the kicking and getting things underway in the third quarter, but the ball flips off the tee. The wind, again, gusting most of the day. He's had some problems there.
And this is a little different from what we saw in the first half. Ben Fingerhut doing the kicking then. Now it's Patrick Evans, a junior out of Indianapolis.
He went to Warren Central High School there, and he will try to kick it as deep as he possibly can. A whole host of balloons floating over the stadium at the moment. Chris Wiesehan is in a position he may have to field one of the balloons before this one's over. The kick is a knuckleball, bounces around the 25, picked up across the way, returned to the 32-yard line, and that is where Wabash will have their first play. Eric Snively is the man who returned it. Let's check with Amanda Lotz down on the sideline. Amanda?
Bob, I'm here with Robert Doc Barber, who graduated from Depauw in '35 and was Dean of Admissions here for 26 years. Doc, what's your favorite Monon memory?
36 years ago, I was sitting right up there, and we needed a field goal to win, and Fred Williams went out there, and he kicked the field goal in the last second, and we won the game.
Thanks a lot.
For that. I never forget it.
Inside handoff to David Cogan. He gets out from the 32 to about the 35, maybe the 36-yard line. Squeezed out 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
We talked about Wabash with negative 6 yards rushing in the first half. Another reason that they have not put up big rushing numbers. Chris Ings, who is an outstanding running quarterback, 3 carries for only 3 yards and the 1 touchdown. But, Bob, we have not seen any of the design rollouts and quarterback sprints that Wabash has utilized throughout the year.
2nd down and make it about 6.5 yards to go for Wabash. The ball is at their own 36. Ings rolls to the near side, gets some pressure, but throws underhand down the field. Picked off. Intercepted by Depauw and knocked out at about the 40-yard line. And the man coming across, John Holloway, makes the interception. A big turnover for Depauw. Great field position at the Wabash 40-yard line, and it gives the Tigers, Scott McGregor, great field position early.
That's right, John Holloway, the freshman, coming up with his 2nd interception of the year. Ings puts up the pass. You see he rolls out, then gets a little bit of pressure, but mostly has time to throw. It gets tipped by Mike Gramhofer, and then it lands in the hands of John Holloway, the freshman out of Fishers, Indiana.
1st and 10 for Depauw at the Wabash 40. The give is to Gardner up the middle. He's at the 30. He's at the 25. Booms his way to the 24 before he knocked down a big run of 16 yards. A 1st down for Depauw inside the Wabash 25-yard line.
Sean Gardner is carrying this offense single-handedly. He is coming up with a huge game today with Ronnie Herman out of the game with a hamstring injury. Sean Gardner, the junior out of Indianapolis, with a big one.
The ball is at the 23-yard line as, again, they send Jamie Kuna wide to the left side, both Melchiori and Hill to the right. The lone running back is Gardner. Lansu is the quarterback. He gives the ball off to Gardner, hit at the line of scrimmage, spun around, and Adam Bella, the 2nd man through, makes sure he goes no further, a loss of a yard or 2 back to the 25. It'll set up 2nd down and about 11.5 to go. We are just underway in the 3rd quarter. Again, the scoreboard clock is out. It is 13-5, Wabash leading Depauw. Depauw on an interception by John Holloway has the ball 2nd down, and will call it 11 at the 25-yard line of Wabash. Big chance for Depauw to get back into the football game. Tight end Jay Pettigrew set to the right side. Hill and this time Gardner slotted to the right. The running back is Melchiori. Kuna is split wide to the left side. Lansu drops the throw, looks quickly to the left, fires one over the middle. It's almost intercepted. Bill Warren, the middle linebacker, was right there. Whether he got a hand on it, I'm not sure, but he was the closest man to it. And it is now 3rd down and 11, and a big play upcoming. And again, Scott McGregor has talked about it. 22 interceptions from the starting quarterbacks certainly have not helped anything this year, and that's certainly nearly another one for Brian Lansu. 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions for Depauw today. This time they've got about 11.5 to go. They break the huddle, and Bradley Hill goes wide to the left side. Jamie Kuna comes wide to the near side. Pettigrew is the H-back set right. The I formation as they send Pettigrew in motion to the far side. Lansu rolls to that side, whistle. Let's see whether it took too much time to get the play underway or what. Okay, illegal procedure against Depauw. That cost them 5 yards and sets up 3rd and 16. Something the Tigers certainly didn't need there. The clock is back, and so is the scoreboard. It's working. Thank you very much. Wabash penalties 2 for 10 today, and Depauw 4 for 39. 13 minutes and 5 seconds, the official time remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's 13-5 Wabash. It is 3rd and 16 to go for a 1st down. The ball back at the 30-yard line. Again, Brian Lansu is the man under. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 right. He drops straight back. Has time. Now the pressure collapses. He fires it over to Melchiori. Melchiori breaks it through to the 20. Cuts inside, dives down close to the 15-yard line. He's shy of the 1st down, but he certainly made a good recovery on there, and it's 4th and about 2 or 3, depending on where they actually spot the football, at about the 16, and let's see exactly where they are going to put it down at the 17-yard line. So he needs to gain 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Pick up on the play of 12.
And Bob, Ronnie Herman trotting back into the game now, so this could be big for the Depauw Tigers. We're going to look at the replay here. Lansu coming across and looking, finds Melchiori in the flat on the screen pass, and then he gets a good block there. Can't tell who that is, but it was a nice block, and then Melchiori getting some good yardage out of it.
Chad Bush with a good tackle to have the play come short. Fingerhut apparently going to attempt what would be a 34-yard field goal out of the hold of Ronnie Harmon. Well, let's see if there's something up. The snap is high, and Harmon rolls to the right side. Looks to throw. He's going to run. He's at the 20. He's at the 15. Dragged down at the 13. Now, let's see exactly where they spot it and what the situation is. Ronnie Harmon, I think that was going to be a fake all the way, but the snap was high, and he ran to the right side.
Bob,
They're going to bring the chains in.
The Tigers put this play in practice this week. They talked about running it on Thursday, and they run it here. Ronnie Herman looking for some running room, and he just turns it up. Looks like the hamstring's okay there, and we're going to see the chain gang come out and measure for the first down.
He's the normal holder, so that is one of those things that you can do with a running back or a quarterback, but the spot and the measurement looks like a first down for Depauw, but let's make sure it is first down Tigers. The ball at about the 13. He gained 4. He needed about 3.5. So it is first down Depauw. The ball at the 13-yard line. 12 minutes to go, third quarter. Wabash 13, Depauw 5. The Tigers break the huddle. Jamie Kuna goes wide to the left side. Wide right comes Bradley Hill and Melchiori. The lone running back is Sean Gardner. Again, Brian Lansue is the man under. Takes the snap. Gives it to Gardner. Spins off one tackle. Dives to about the 10. Adam Vella hit him at the line of scrimmage. Spun him around a bit as we got timeout called by the officials. And down to the 10-yard line on the play was Sean Gardner. Now let's see what the official is going to talk it over. I don't see a flag, but is there one down? They're talking things over. Maybe the time on the clock is what they might be discussing.
Gardner trotting off the field. He looks to be very hurt. It looks like an ankle possibly. And Ronnie Herman's going to have to come in the game, but that could be a big loss, Bob. Sean Gardner has really carried this offense here today. He's up close near the 90-yard mark in rushing, I believe, and that could be a big loss. We're going to get a replay here and look at what happened to Sean Gardner. He gets the handoff from Brian Lansue, then comes in. You see a good block by Dan Weiss, but Vella grabs him, and it looked like he kind of twisted his ankle there in the middle of the mass of jerseys.
Or somebody fell on him, which is always a possibility. He gained 84 yards on 18 carries so far today. He got the ball down to the 9-yard line, which makes it second down and 6. And I think they also wanted to adjust the clock, which they did to 11 minutes and 34 seconds. 13-5, Wabash leads it. The ball is at the Little Giant 9. Depauw has it second down and 6. Brian Lansue comes back to the huddle. Big drive coming up now as they'll flank Ronnie Herman wide to the left with Jamie Kuna. Melchiori is the lone running back, and the Hill split to the right side. Second down and 6. The juggling handoff, diving on top of the ball is Brian Lansue. I think he got it back. Kyle Kuba was there trying to pick it up. So was Ryan Pitcock. Neither could get it for Wabash as Lansue dove on the fumble. The ball just popped out of his hands, and it's back to about the 12. It'll set up a big third down play now for Depauw.
Bob, the Tigers just a second away from heartbreak there. Brian Lansue makes a heads-up play, gets back on the ball. But again, that could have been another costly turnover.
All right, let's check down on the sideline with Gregor Mann on an update on the injury. Gregor?
We saw Sean Gardner go out there, but it's just a simple Charlie horse. He's going to walk it off, stretch out a little bit, and he'll be back in the game.
He's back in there now.
We also saw Herman on the fake field goal right there. The word I got was that he'd be out for the rest of the game, but apparently we're not sure at this point. Now back to you, Bob.
Ronnie Herman scores on a little swing pass to the left side. Herman back into the ball game and stretches it out, a 12-yard touchdown throw from Brian Lansue to Ronnie Herman, and Herman with the touchdown, and they're right back into the football game at 13-11. That's the first receiving touchdown for Ronnie this year, his third overall, and it is now 13-11, possibly a two-point conversion. No, Mike Fingerhut is in the game with 10:35 to go, third quarter. You probably go for one here.
Boy, what an effort by Ronnie Herman. He's injured. He has a hamstring pull, comes back in the game. He was the MVP of last year's Monon Bell game after rushing for 105 yards and scoring a touchdown off a Brian Lansue pass. We see the same combination here today as the Tigers get back on the board.
Herman will hold, and Fingerhut will try to bring the Tigers to within one. Snap, the ball is down, the kick is up. It looks good. It is good. With 10:35 to go, third quarter, it is Wabash 13, Depauw 12. That's the score from Blackstock Stadium. We'll be right back after this short break. This is the Monon Bell Television Network.
The football tradition continues on Channel 56 with this historic broadcast of the 100th anniversary of the Monon Bell football game. Wabash College, Depauw University. You're catching it live right here on Channel 56. Thanks to those of you who are supporting Channel 56, making this game possible for all of us to enjoy. If you've not yet made a commitment to support this game, please do so right now. We've made it easy for you to do it by calling 1-900-988-TV56. A $10 charge will appear on your next telephone bill as a gift to Channel 56 in support of this game. So if you're enjoying these teams, these schools, this game in public television for the Northwest Indiana, South Chicagoland area, why not pick up the phone and dial right now? Show your support for this great game by calling 1-900-988-TV56. If you're able to give a gift in a larger amount, please use this address: Channel 56, 8625 Indiana Place, Merrillville, Indiana, 46410.
Well, with the score Wabash 13, Depauw 12, we're going to look at a couple of plays on that scoring drive by the Depauw Tigers. Here, Brian Lansue rolling out is going to look and find a receiver. He finds Ronnie Herman on the touchdown. Herman with all kinds of room to run and scoots into the end zone. And here you see Brian Lansue, who's had a tough game to this point, but comes up with a huge toss there. He hugs co-captain Jimmy Facilla. And Ronnie Herman, the MVP of last year's Monon Bell game, coming up with another big touchdown catch this year as the offensive line congratulates him in the end zone.
Plenty of time left in this football game. This is one that appears to be going right down to the wire. Wabash leading 13-12, 10:35 to go in the third quarter. The Little Giants ready to receive the kickoff. Depauw kicking into the wind. High floater coming toward David Kogan, who fields it at the 21. To the 25, looks for the far side, trying to get a block, trying to turn the corner, gives up a couple of yards, turns it back to the 30, 35, and fouls his way out near the 40. Matter of fact, he crossed the 40, got to the 41-yard line, which is where they'll put the football down. A 20-yard return for David Kogan, and good field position for Wabash with 10:26 to play in the third quarter. And again, Joe Emick, they've got field position, they've got the wind at their back. This is a quarter that Wabash has to dominate, and so far Depauw has on that turnover.
You're right. We talked about the Wabash defense forcing turnovers. Well, the Wabash offense, which has not turned the ball over many times this season, gave up a big one there on the Ings interception. It leads to a Depauw touchdown. But Wabash still maintains the lead, albeit by only a single point, and they have outstanding field position here.
All right, Chris Ings back under center. Sends Hardesty in motion. Gives to Kogan right side, tries to cut back up the middle. Very, very short gain. Let's go down to the Depauw side. Amanda Lotz. Amanda?
Bob, I'm here with Tommy Mont, ex-Depauw coach and athletic director. Coach, how have things changed since when you were coaching?
Well, things really haven't changed. It's still the same exciting game. Overcast skies, and it's coming down to maybe the last 10 seconds when Depauw wins. We just brought our first team in from the library, and they're going to do the job.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Back to you, Bob.
He may be right. Who knows? Ball's at the 41-yard line. It is second down and 9. 9:50 to play, third quarter. Wabash clinging to a 1-point lead. The Little Giants with the ball. And Ings drops to throw. Big throw for him, being pressured. Rolls back, hit, gets away, still on his feet, and throws the ball back the other way. And over the throws the receiver. Down around the 30-yard line. Craig Hardesty was the man there, but I'll tell you what, Chris Ings did a great job, A, getting away from people, and B, throwing the ball back the other way and threw it a long way.
And that is exactly what Ings has been doing all season long. I'm not sure why we haven't seen him move around a little more and run more, and we'll see a replay of the scramble here. Lost his footing, but had a great sense of balance, stayed up without touching the knee. Right there you see the slip, and he eludes the defender, rolls to his right, and manages to squeeze off the pass and ducks the sack. And that is something we had not seen today from Chris Ings. And I'm not sure why we haven't seen Chris roll more and sprint out a little more here this afternoon.
John Boyden wants to know the same thing, why he's not on the ground back there. Third down. Big third down as they are 2 of 6. Ings started to run now. Heaves the ball deep, intended for Weezahan. He's got it at the 5-yard line. Down there, Chris Weezahan with a great catch. Rolls down to about the 3. Big play with Chris Ings as he started to run. Saw Weezahan open and fired to play covered 54 yards.
That is it, Bob. That's exactly what Ings brings to this offense, and it's what he's done all year long. You cannot come up hard on him when he starts to roll because he throws so well against the grain. Let's see it here. Again, he is rushed. He has to sprint out of the pocket and just maintains his position back there and wings a deep bomb to Weezahan, who beat the defensive back, and it's all the way down inside the 5-yard line. Wabash with a big offensive play they've been looking for all day long, and it's the quarterback Ings to the senior receiver Weezahan.
First and goal from the 3-yard line for Wabash. They lead by a point, 13-12. The quick pitch to Kogan coming to the near side. Good blocking, turns the corner, runs into trouble, and down he goes. Right there, Holloway comes over. The safety makes the hit just as it looked like Kogan was going to turn the corner and go. He doesn't get anything. The ball is at the 3-yard line. It'll be second down and goal to go from the 3-yard line.
Here's the pitch out to Kogan on the sweep. Gets a good pancake block out on the point of attack by Craig Hardesty, but the defensive back staying at home, coming up to string out the play, lost maybe a half-yard on it. The Wabash will get another crack on second down and goal from about the 3. And, of course, Wabash in this territory in the first half picked up their only touchdown on a short plunge by Chris Ings. Would not be surprised if they try a fade pattern here to either Weezahan or Snively going to the corner of the end zone.
And both of them come wide to the near side. Now they send Weezahan in motion to the far side. Back to throw his Ings. He's turning the corner, looks, trying to cut upfield, trying to follow a block. Submerged, gets free, scores! Chris Ings on a 3-yard run. They had him, couldn't hold him, and Ings for the second time today finds the end zone, and it's now 19-12 in favor of Wabash. But the big play, the 54-yarder from Ings to Weezahan at the 3-yard line. But Ings down, no, maintains his balance, keeps his balance, hide behind the blockers. He's short, he's able to do that, simply hid behind offensive linemen and was able to fight his way free and into the end zone. It's 19-12 with the extra point to come.
And now we know why I'm in the broadcast booth and not on the sideline coaching. We've seen them go to that fade pattern in the past in that situation, but instead they go to Chris Ings, and when we get a chance to look at the replay, you'll see the outstanding second effort that got him into the end zone.
Again, Hefner will hold, and Alex Costa will try to add the 20th point. The snap, the ball is down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 8:17 to play, third quarter, it's the Little Giants of Wabash 20 and the Tigers of Depauw 12 with still plenty of time to go. Here's a replay on what happened, Joe, on that touchdown.
You see Weezahan go in motion. They fake to Kogan on the sweep. Ings will take it himself. It's a quarterback keeper end around. He can't get around Kogan's block, has to cut inside. Looked as if he was going to go down there, and look at the lower body strength. Keeps the legs pumping, sheds 2 or 3 tacklers, and goes in the end zone. And Bob, we mentioned at the beginning of the second half that Ings had only rushed the ball 3 times for 3 yards. He had not utilized his mobility. Here on 3 consecutive plays, he does so, and they end up getting in the end zone.
5 plays, 60 yards, 2 minutes and 18 seconds. It is 20-12 in favor of Wabash.
Well, Bob, Chris Ings with an outstanding play there, but you saw the Tigers had a couple of chances to tackle him, and that's been a problem for them all season long. Continues here today as a sophomore quarterback runs in for the touchdown for the Little Giants.
Chris Ings has scored twice, once from 1 yard out, once from 3 yards out, the 2 Wabash scores. And it is a 20-12 Little Giant lead with 8:17 to go third quarter. Alex Costa, if he doesn't slip and fall in the mud, is going to put one probably pretty deep because the wind again at his back. Bradley Hill and Jamie Kuna have dropped deep. We'll see whether Costa wants to just put the leg to it or whether he would try to hang one up and perhaps position Depauw inside the 20. Good coverage by Wabash most of the afternoon has given Depauw not very good field position following kickoffs. So again, Alex Costa is the man who will try to see what he can do about it this time with 8:17 to go in his third quarter. He approaches, puts the foot into it, and we're back underway. And this time he'll hit a good one. Bradley Hill fields it about the 4, brings it right up the middle across the 15-20. He breaks it to the 25, spins away from 1, and goes down at about the 29-yard line. He was hit pretty hard in there, and 25-yard return and coming across to make the tackle. David Hubster, who had been listed as a starting linebacker early in the week, but Ryan Pitcock starting for him, and Ryan's played very, very well. Again, a 5-play, 60-yard drive with Chris Ings going 3 yards to put the Little Giants up 20-12. Ball at the 29. It is Depauw's ball, first down. Brian Lansu's job, get him back in the end zone as quick as you can. He gives the ball up the middle to Gardner, bounces to the outside, turns the corner to 30, gets a block, but not far enough to knock down for a gain of 6 on the play at about the 36-yard line. Across the way on the Wabash side, we've got John Bradley. John?
1989 graduate. He's the all-time leading receiver at Wabash. Mike, what is it about this Monon-Bell rivalry that makes it so intense?
Well, I think it's because this rivalry's been rooted in 100 years of football tradition that makes it so special. Because what happens is it creates such a sense of emotion, a sense of adrenaline, and such a high level of excitement out here that when you come to Wabash as a freshman, you quickly learn how important it is. And it's really a great thing to be involved with.
All right, thank you, Mike. Now we're back to you in the booth, Bob.
Second down and 3, and Gardner took it right up the middle and got a couple. It'll be third down and about 1 for Depauw at their own 38-yard line.
We just saw Mike Funk, a 1989 graduate from Wabash. He had a spectacular day here at Blackstock Stadium in the 89, I'm sorry, actually it would have been the 88 game. His senior year, his final game as a Little Giant, he played three ways, a la Rod Woodson in his final game for Purdue, and he returned a kickoff 91 yards for a touchdown.
3rd down and 1, a big play here for Depauw at their own 38-yard line. They trail by 8. They give up the middle to Gardner. Big play, cracks that out across the 40 to the 43, and I'll tell you what, somebody in that mass of humanity reached out and grabbed him by the ankle. Otherwise, Mr. Gardner may be still running. He gets it out to the 43. It is a 1st down for Depauw.
Well, Sean Gardner, again, doing an excellent job up the middle, and credit that offensive line. They're doing an outstanding job. We're going to take a look at the replay. That offensive line with Dan Elmore at center, leading the Tigers right up the middle. All kinds of room there. Gardner does a good job of protecting the ball as he gets some yardage up the middle.
I think he stumbled more than somebody tackled him, too. Ball at the 43. He's gained 93 yards on 20 carries so far. He and quarterback Brian Lansu converse. 1st down for Depauw. Ball at the 43-yard line of the Tigers. Lansu drops the throw, gets some pressure, rolls away. Now he's going to be knocked down. Coming through, good play, Tracy Smith with the tackle and the sack back at around the 36-yard or the 34-yard line. A loss on the play of about 9. It'll be set up 2nd and 19. Long play coming up. Good pressure up the middle by Tracy Smith again. He's been there several times today. Some real close pressures. This time he was able to wrap Lansu up.
And that is Smith's team-leading 6th sack, and he did. He came untouched right up the middle. Lansu had no time, and Smith doing a good job of wrapping him up, something that Wabash tacklers have not done today. They've been arm tackling and allowing a lot of the backs to slip free. That time, an outstanding tackle on the sack by Smith.
2nd and 19, Depauw. Double tight end with Pettigrew actually set up as a H-back to the right side. They give to the near side. Cutting is Gardner, hit and knocked down right at the line of scrimmage by Adam Vella again. Vella has had one great defensive football game today. He is a 5'11", 216-pound junior, one-year letterman out of Cherville, and he makes the big stop at the line of scrimmage at the 34, sets up 3rd down and 19. 5:15 to go, 3rd quarter. Huge play coming up for Depauw here.
Well, Bob, one guy we haven't seen very much today is Jay Pettigrew. He's been a freshman sensation for the Tigers, and Coach Nick wanted to use him more today. And if the Tigers are going to establish a passing game here in the 3rd quarter, they're going to have to go to Pettigrew.
Again, big day for Gardner, 99 yards on 22 carries, just short of becoming the first back this year to gain 100. Back to throw is Lansu. He needs 19 yards. Throws it across the middle. It is tipped and almost intercepted. I think it was Vella again who got a hand on it and tipped the ball wide. And the crazy thing, Moore was coming across, and I think he thought he had a pick, and Vella deflected it. So Moore's mad at his teammate for taking an INT away from him, but it does force a punt. And into the game, Roussel comes into the ball game to punt it for Depauw. Matt has averaged 36.3 coming into today. Chris Wiesehan is the single safety set around the 30. Takes the high snap, gets a high floater. Pretty good punt into the wind. Wiesehan fields it at about the 28, starts far side, comes up the middle, crosses the 35, spun around, gets to the 40, and out to maybe the 42 or 43-yard line by the time Chris finally hits the turf. Again, good field position, something that Wabash or Depauw, when they've got to have to take advantage of with the wind.
Bob, this is something that the Wabash defense has not done all year, and we'll get to that in a moment. Let's go down to Gregor Mann on the Depauw sideline.
Being the 100th Monon Bell game, it's a very special game and deserves some special extras. An alumnus from the 80s, Don Popovec decided that he wanted to give the players jerseys to remember the game by. As a result, they sold replicas of the jerseys and raised enough money to pay for all the jerseys for the teammates. So the players today will be able to keep their jerseys that you see them wearing. Now back up to you, Bob.
Kogan spins loose for the first time and cracks across midfield into Depauw territory, down to the Tiger 49. The good field position set up by a 12-yard return by Chris Wiesehan off a 46-yard punt. Kogan's run is 9 at 2nd down and 1. 4:20 to play in quarter number 3, as again Kogan comes up the middle, hit at the line of scrimmage, but again, as Scott McGregor points out, you got to wrap him up when you hit him. He spins free, rubs himself off a couple of would-be tacklers, and picks up 9. 2nd down and 1. Chris Ings, the man under. Ings, who has scored 2 touchdowns today, will give it to Kogan again across the right side. It trips as he crosses the 45. He's got the first down at the Depauw 43-yard line.
On that last David Kogan run, we saw something that Wabash skill players do very well, and that is block. Nate Baker and Craig Hardesty at the point of attack, turning the defenders inside, sealing them away from Kogan. And that is something that Wabash takes great pride in, is that their skill guys, especially the receivers, are outstanding blockers.
You just saw Keith Hafner on the sideline wigwagging the signal into Chris Ings. He's got a first down at the Depauw 43. Kogan is the lone back, 2 wide out set to the right and 1 to the left. 3:38 to play third quarter. Wabash leads it 20-12. Ings back to throw, looks for the quick slant, throws. Snively's caught it down at the 30, spins inside of the 28. Knocked down there, but another quick throw. Chris Ings to Eric Snively, takes it down inside the 30 to near the 28-yard line. Both Snively and Weezahan, if you joined us late, have caught balls in all 36 games they have played. This is their senior year, their 4th Monon Bell game. Again, a good throw by Chris Ings and right on target. That's one of these things that if you're a receiver, you just love, because that ball hits you between the numbers. You just wrap it up and take as many yards as you can. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line of Depauw. You look for the run, you can hit that quick slant pretty often, and Ings has done it pretty well. Ings looks right now, throws to the sideline. Weezahan's got it to 22, 20, inside and knocked down at about the 15-yard line. He's got another first down.
And Bob, on this drive, David Kogan has hit the milestone Little Giants fans have been waiting for all day. He now has 13 carries for 38 yards. He now has 1,000 yards rushing on the season. And here you see the first down reception by Chris Weezahan on a little out pattern, just about 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage to set up a Wabash first down. And before we went down to Gregor a moment ago, I was going to mention that the Wabash defense did something on that last series they had not done all year. They answer by getting the ball back without giving up a score, and give the ball back to the Little Giant offense with the lead.
Kogan turns the corner on the right side. Geese goes over 1,000, goes inside the 10, down around the 7 or 8 yard line before he's finally knocked down. Scott?
I'll tell you, fellas, what scares me about this drive is David Kogan. This is very reminiscent of 2 years ago right here at Blackstock Stadium. Kogan carrying the ball 7 straight times on the drive that led to Wabash's win over Depauw, and we're seeing the same thing here today. Kogan just plowing through and picking apart the Depauw defense.
2nd down and 2, the ball at the 8-yard line as Wabash leading by 8, trying to build on it in the waning moments of quarter number 3, 2:43 remaining. They break the huddle. 2nd down and short. Chris Ings 13 of 18 today for 198 yards and 1 interception. He gives the ball up the middle and running down around the goal line down to the 1-yard line. Ings pounds his fist. He wanted that touchdown badly, but Kogan got stopped at about the 1-yard line. 1st and goal to go. They may put it down at, let's call it the 2. 1st and goal to go from the 2-yard line. 2:37 left.
We'll take a look at the running play. Just a quick hit to Kogan. Blasts off left tackle, takes the defender head on, and actually gets a couple of more yards after the initial hit, and the Depauw Tigers will take a timeout to talk things over defensively, and Wabash knocking on the door again thanks to a defensive stand the last time Depauw had the football, and Bob Weezahan really set this drive up with a pretty good punt return to give Wabash good field position at about the 41-yard line.
All right, let's check on the Wabash sidelines to see what's going on over there. John Bradley. John?
Thanks, Bob. Back in 1967, another tradition of the Bell is that teams try to steal it from one another. In 67, Depauw feared that Wabash would steal the Bell, so one of their own students stole the Bell and buried it in the end zone. This year, the Bell was kept at the Fideout House on campus. Now back to you, Bob.
Oh, now you tell us where it is, John. Nice. If we'd have known that a couple of days, you never know what might have happened. Ball's at the goal line. 1st down and goal to go for Wabash at the Depauw 2-yard line. Kogan, 7 carries for 35 yards this quarter. As he, as mentioned by Scott McGregor, has turned this into his quarter. Wabash leading 20-12, and all of this has come about after Depauw drove down to make it 13-12. For the game, 15 carries, 52 yards, and over 1,000. He and Hardesty are the backs set up behind Chris Ings on 1st and goal to go from the 2-yard line. In motion, Weezahan heads to the far sideline. Quick pitch to Kogan, trying to get outside right, trying to turn the corner, knocked out, fumbled the football out of bounds, but he'll be down at the 2, maybe inside of the 1. We'll see where, I think it's the 2 is where they'll put it down. It's still 2nd down and goal to go. They'll move it to the 1. Kogan coughed the football up, but it bounced out of bounds. Good break for Wabash.
They ran the sweep. They were looking for Hardesty to cut down the defensive back at the point of attack. He couldn't quite get it done. Actually, that was Weezahan out there blocking. I'm sorry, it was Weezahan and not Hardesty. And you see Kogan undercut it about the 2, lost the football. Unfortunately for Wabash, it goes out of bounds.
2nd down, goal to go from the 1-yard line. In motion back to the near side, Eric Snively. Ings dives into the end zone, his 3rd touchdown of the day. Chris Ings cut off the right side as the motion had everybody moving the other way. There was a huge hole off the center and right guard, and Ings just dove in. He scored 3 times. Wabash has opened a 26-12 lead. And Alex Costa will try to add the 27th point.
Ings that time on a quarterback keeper right behind the right side of his offensive line. Kevin Hornick, the right guard. Jason Farabee, the right tackle. Hornick out of Indianapolis, Farabee out of New Albany. And this offensive line, one of the best, if not the best in the league coming in, has done an outstanding job again today, paving the way for 3 Chris Ings touchdowns.
Hefner puts the ball down. Costa gets the kick up. It is no good. He missed it to the right side. So with 2:21 to go, it's a 2-touchdown lead. Wabash 26, Depauw 12. And for Chris Ings, a 3-touchdown afternoon.
And we'll take another look at Chris Ings' touchdown. The hat trick for Ings. You see right there, he just goes off the right side. The offensive lineman bury the Depauw defensive lineman. Ings with a little jump. May not even have been necessary. And he now has 3 touchdowns via the rush on the day. Came in with 6, so he has 9 rushing touchdowns on the season. He and teammate Eric Snively, along with Keith Hefner and Brace on the sideline in celebration. Wabash has jumped out to a 26-12 lead over Depauw. And Bob, in the second half, the key has been David Cogan's involvement and Chris Ings' mobility, something we did not see in the first half. Going to the locker room, Greg Carlson told us that the seniors need to step up, make the big plays. These aren't seniors involved right now, but certainly whatever Greg said to the offense in the locker room has gotten the job done.
Well, you got a couple of seniors up on that offensive line. Hornick for 1, Farabee for 1, Durrell for 1. Those guys have all paved the way for some good running in the second half. And I think the big thing is what they did after Depauw cut it to 13-12, because if the Tigers come up with a big stand there, then it could be a different game. But Wabash goes the other way and gets 7. 8 plays, 58 yards on this latest touchdown drive. Chris Ings, a 1-yard run, and it is 26-12 in favor of the Wabash Little Giants.
And a senior did have something, though, to do with that scoring drive because, as we mentioned, Weezahan on the punt return did a nice job to get it out to the 41-yard line and set up good field position.
And don't forget the quick pass to Snively, and he had a big hand in it, too. Everybody with a big hand in it, but it's 26-12, and this thing is far from being over because Depauw can move the football. They have done that a lot today. Avoid the turnovers. End-over-end kick headed toward Bradley Hill again. He takes it a yard deep. He's going to bring it out. Comes to the near sideline looking for some blocks. He's at the 15. He's at the 20. Finds a hole. Crosses the 30 to about the 31-yard line before Mike Mannion trips him up there. And it's first down to Paul with pretty good field position one more time. They just have not been able to move the ball as consistently as Wabash in the second half. 19-yard return. Actually, that was a little bit more than a 19-yard return. Taking a yard deep in the end zone, a 32-yard return for Bradley Hill.
There you see quarterback Chris Ings exchanging high fives with Wabash Sports Information Director Jim Amadon. Ings' rushing numbers not as impressive as they have been, only 7 yards, but they have all been very valuable as he scored 3 times.
Melchiori rides it to the right side, crosses the 35 out to about the 36. A gain of 5 on the play, and Ryan Pitcock, the linebacker, in there to make the stop. Mark Melchiori with the run.
Bob, the Tigers finding their running game today. They came into the season expecting to put some good rushing numbers up on the board. Unfortunately, it hadn't happened in many games so far this season, going to a 2-7 record coming into today's game. But today, between Sean Gardner, Ronnie Herman, and Mark Melchiori, the Tiger running attack has pounded the Little Giant defense.
Second down and 6 yards to go for a first as Lansu is the man under. Drops the throw, looks to the right, swings it out in the flat, dropped by Sean Gardner. He better scoop that ball up, which he does at the 29. That could have been a lateral. It was, I believe, ruled as a lateral. It should have been, and that means the ball is possession at the 29-yard line. A good play by Gardner. If he gives up on that ball, Wabash could have recovered it. Let's go to the Wabash sidelines and John Bradley.
Killer Kilbane, class of '84. Jim, you're a former linebacker who helped organize the Monon Bell alumni game. Why aren't you playing this year, Jim?
John, it's pretty simple. I broke my thumb last year and then my nose the year before that. We organized it, have lots of fun. It's a good way to keep in touch with the rivalry.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Now back to you in the booth, Bob.
3rd and 12 for Depauw at their own 30-yard line as Lansu drops the throw. Has time, sets up, throws it over the middle, incomplete. Scott Beasley was the guy intended for. The young man from Greenwood went up, had it in his hands, but couldn't hang on. It would have been a first down, and that'll bring on the punting unit. Roussel comes in to do the punting one more time. Matt has averaged 36-3 coming into today, and he'll try it one more time. The line of scrimmage is 30, and Chris Weezahan drops back, and again, with 50 seconds left in the quarter, an all-out rush, it would seem, from Wabash. They're coming after from the far side, but Roussel gets the kick away. An end-over-end kick hits at the 40, bounces to the 35. Weezahan fumbles, picks it up at the 31, and he's plowed under right there. Matter of fact, he may have lost a yard back to the 30 before the play is all over.
The Wabash defense now twice here in the second half has been able to hold Depauw after the offense has put points on the board, something they've had difficulty doing. Now, the defense, as we mentioned, has been much maligned throughout the year, but 2 weeks ago in the Rose-Hulman game, the defense came up big, holding Rose-Hulman to only 13 points. Here this afternoon, they have managed to come up with the big plays when needed in the biggest game of the season. So congratulations to Pete Germano to this point for getting his defense to come up and make the big plays.
Roussel's punt, a 40-yarder, no return. The ball's at the 30-yard line. But once again, Wabash with the ball as Ings drops to throw. Looks, he's airing it out down the right sideline, and it's too far. Intended for Chris Weezahan. He couldn't quite catch up with it. Second down and 10. 37 seconds left with the Wind, leading by 2 touchdowns. Nick Morosa's club, he's got something to figure out because he's going to have the win for the final 15 minutes. That could be very, very important before this thing is all over.
I also think that that play on the deep fly pattern to Weezahan is a sign of Greg Carlson's attitude about this game. He knows that a 14-point lead with just over a quarter to play is not safe. He obviously is not going to get conservative. He wants to go for the jugular here.
2 wideouts, actually 3 to the right side as Ings on second down with 37 seconds left in the third quarter. Fakes the pitch, now looks for the screen, not there, swings it out in the flat. It's caught by Weezahan at the 30, breaks the tackle 35-40. He's at the 45, midfield into Depauw territory, down to the 40, inside there to about the 38-yard line. Nice quick play. They faked the pitch to Kogan, went back with a quick screen to Weezahan. He was hit as he caught the ball, broke that tackle, and ran down the sideline 32 yards to the Depauw 38-yard line.
That's the play with which they opened the game, a flanker screen, and it almost was disaster. A poorly thrown ball, but Weezahan with a lot of experience made sure he caught the ball before turning upfield, dodged a tackler with a little stop-and-go move, gets down to about the 38, maybe the 37-yard line, and that's a play that is now effective because David Kogan has become a prominent factor in the second half. They can play fake to him and really sell the fake because he's been running so well.
Drew Marte made the tackle and saved a possible touchdown. They give us to Kogan, starts right, bounces outside 35. He's at the 30, he's at the 25, and knocked out of bounds inside the 25 at about the 24-yard line, but that'll be good for another Wabash first down with 3.9 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. The Little Giants lead the game 26-12. And some defensive changes for Depauw. John Kramer heads back on the field along with Kevin Mendenhall. They try to beef up the line. They'll put it out at the 25, they say, is where he first stepped out of bounds. It's still a first down. But 3.9 seconds, time for probably one more play unless Ings throws a quick incompletion. First and 10 again at the Depauw 25-yard line. Ings brings Hardesty in motion. He was moving on the right side of the offensive line. And Jason Farabee is one of those people there's a little upset. Or was it Hornick who jumped? It may have been Hornick.
Offside called.
Yep, Kevin Hornick is the guy who jumped. He's a little mad at himself. A 5-yard move back to the 30-yard line. There's still 3.9 seconds. It's first and 15. And back into the football game for the Depauw Tigers. Mike Gramhofer out of Hammond. He replaces Matt Watkins. First and 15 for Wabash. Probably the last play of quarter number 3. Wabash leading 26-12. Ings fakes, keeps the ball, turns the corner, gets inside the 25, down around the 23. That'll end the third quarter with Wabash on top by the score of 26-12. 15 minutes to go in this, the 100th Monon Bell game. And here at Blackstock Stadium, the score is Wabash 26, Depauw 12. We'll be back after this short break. This is the Monon Bell Television Network.
.56 Sports College Football is partially underwritten by the following.
Calumet Rehabilitation Services Incorporated, providing physical, occupational, speech, aquatic, and psychological therapy for pediatric clientele. 1302 North Main Street in Crown Point, 662-1018.
Hill Satellite Systems, your connection for private cable and complete home systems. Toshiba Home Satellite Theater, antennas for sharp quality and more choices. And widescreen TV with surround sound. 48-hour service and financing available. Hill Satellite serving Indiana and Illinois, Route 2 east of 55 in Lowell. 1-800-466-2322.
The place for treating athletic injuries is St. Mary Medical Center's Health and Rehabilitation Spectrum in Hobart. Specialists using advanced testing and therapy equipment can help rehabilitate sports injuries, put athletes back in the game safely. For details, 1-800-932-6184.
TV View magazine now with 2 weekly editions covering Lake and Porter counties. TV View has local listings, Hiding Harry, coupons, crosswords, horoscopes, and more. TV View, freely distributed at grocery stores, restaurants, and high-traffic areas. TV View magazine, published weekly, read daily.
And by the financial support of viewers like you.
Fatigued, they're not about to quit. And that's shown by players such as Mike Gramhofer, who came out with a turned ankle, got a little tape, and he's back in the game. Defense feels its back is up against the wall, and if they give up any more points, that this game is over. So they're ready to stop Wabash and get us back in the game. Now back up to Bob.
You know, something you should know about Gregor before we get to the stats. He was in a play last night, did a great job there. Now he's out helping us out today, so he's had a busy weekend. Statistics, 284 yards for Wabash, 258 for Depauw. Passing yards certainly favor Wabash. The rushing still favoring Depauw, but the 54 is such an increase over -6 that you can see what Cogan's presence here in the third quarter has done. We head to the fourth quarter, and again, Wabash with a 2nd down and 8. They have the ball at the Depauw 23-yard line. Chris Ings, who has rushed for 3 touchdowns this afternoon, the man under, drops the throw, looks for the quick throw. Weezahan just cannot quite come up with it at about the 15-yard line. A little bit behind him, but one of those that Chris probably thinks he should have caught. And Chris Ings probably thinks he should have thrown it better. And the Depauw club is certainly happy that neither was true. Ball at the 23-yard line. It is now 3rd and 8. 3rd down conversion, 2 of 7 for Wabash today. That's one of the areas where they have not done all that well. Weezahan with 7 catches for 148 yards today. 3rd down and 8. They'll operate out of the shotgun. They keep Hardesty and Cogan back. Send Snively in motion to the far side. Snap to Ings, drops to throw, sets, looks, flag on the play, throws over the middle. Weezahan's got it at the 10. He's at the 5, he'll score. Chris Weezahan, now the question, what about the flag? I think we got holding on Wabash that'll rub it out. That's exactly what it is, so forget the score, but a nice catch by Weezahan. And unfortunately, he's got to bring the ball back and let him play.
Boy, the Tigers got lucky there. Some blown coverage in the secondary, and fortunately for Depauw, the touchdown is called back.
That'll move the football back, and a very, very big break for Wabash on that one. 14:47, we're just into the fourth quarter. And again, Ings thought he had the touchdown throw to Weezahan, but he knows what that call is, and every quarterback knows when something's gone wrong. Ball back to the 40-yard line and set up 3rd and 25.
See him there get a little pat on the helmet from Jason Farabee, the senior right tackle. Farabee thought it was a touchdown. You could see Ings kind of say, oh, there's the flag, and point down to the ground. But Greg Carlson on the far sideline was not happy. He's all over the officiating crew for that call. But nonetheless, it will stand, and Wabash has a touchdown nullified. They've got 3rd and a country mile.
Yep, 3rd down and 25. Both teams have been penalized 4 times today. Ings drops to throw. Pressure coming up the middle. Little screen. Caught by Cogan. Cogan has some blocking. Turns the corner 35. Gets outside of the 30. Trying to cut back in at the 25. He's not going to make the 1st down. He might not even make the 25-yard line. Depauw comes up with the football. They wanted the takeaway on that one, but they're not going to be giving it. Mike Callahan came up with it. Amanda Lotz has an update for us on the sideline. Amanda?
Bob, I'm here with Don Popravac, president of Depauw's Alumni Football Club. Don, what has alumni response been to the game?
It's been absolutely fantastic, Amanda. We have over 300 former football players that played from decades starting in their 30s all the way through the most recent graduates. They came back here to support the Tigers in the centennial game, and it's been absolutely stellar. The response from them and the emotion. No matter what decade they played in, they still feel the Tiger pride, and they're trying to demonstrate that there today.
Thanks a lot, Don. Back to you, Bob.
All right, we've got a Depauw player shaken up on the play. And that's the reason for the clock stopping with 14:17 to go. Apparently, Chris Rao is the guy who is down inside the 30-yard line. 4th down and 12 is what's coming up. Scotty?
As Don mentioned, there's been some outstanding alumni response to this Monon Bell game. There have been some telecast parties all across the country. One going on in Cincinnati right now at Willie's Bar and Grill on Montgomery Road. So hello to all those folks out in Cincinnati.
All right, let's take a look and see how Chris Rao came up with what appears to be an ankle injury. He gets caught in traffic and gets cut down with a nice block and winds up grabbing that ankle real quick. He did get back up and try to get in on the play, but Chris Rao shaken up, and he comes to the sideline with the help of the training crew. Big 4th down coming up for both of these clubs right now. The ball is at the Depauw 27-yard line, just inside the 27. 4th down and 12. Chris Ings will go out of the shotgun. They are obviously going to disdain the field goal with a 26-12 lead. Now, Chris is really unhappy. They may have to burn a timeout here because both wideouts went to the left side. He tried to get Snively to move, but they didn't want to, and Ings really upset. Had to call the timeout.
And he is yelling at 2 seniors, and he's only a sophomore. That gives you an idea of how much respect Chris Ings has on this football team, and it also gives you an idea of how intelligent and how mature he is, albeit he's only a sophomore.
14 minutes and 8 seconds left in the 4th quarter here at Blackstock Stadium. The score is Wabash 26, Depauw 12. We'll be back after this short break. This is the Monon Bell Television Network.
All right, it's a wonderful day for football. We want to thank those of you who have taken the time to dial our number in support of this game. The telephone number to support this football game between Wabash College and Depauw University, the 100th anniversary of the Monon Bell game, the telephone number to call in support is 1-900-988-TV56. By doing so, by calling that number, you'll hear a brief message. Please stay on the line and listen to the entire message. By doing so, a $10 charge will appear on your next telephone bill as a gift to Channel 56 in support of this great game and in support of these 2 schools. With your strong reaction, we'll know that'll be a signal for us to continue bringing you games like this one in future schedules. So please take time to call 1-900-988-TV56. If you're able to give in a gift a larger amount, please use this address: Channel 56, 8625 Indiana Place, Merrillville 46410.
Everybody going the right direction. He's 15 of 22, 244 yards. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass, but he's run for 3. He's had 1 picked off, and he faces 4th and 12. The ball at the Depauw 27. This is a huge play for Depauw. They've got to stop him here if they're going to have any chance of really coming back and winning the football game. They need to make a stop as Ings drops to throw. Some pressure coming up the middle. He works away from that pressure to the sideline, throws back across his body, incomplete, and Depauw has stopped him. They'll take over at the 27. Scott McGregor alongside. Now, Scotty, Depauw only has a couple of wins, but this is the situation they won 2 games.
That's right. They came from behind in both. The first was a 21-14 win over Hanover, where they came back and they played good defense in the 4th quarter against an explosive Hanover offense. Sean Gardner scored 2 4th-quarter touchdowns, and right here, Depauw has the ball, a chance to put some points on the board. Their second win was a comeback win over Taylor, so we could see the same thing here in the Monon Bell game.
Ryan Lansu's got to have a big quarter here as it's now 14 minutes to go in the game. On the delay, drops to throw, sets up, looks, throws just before he's hit down the sideline, intended for Jamie Kuna. Kuna had it bounce off his shoulder, incomplete. It was deflected by Chad Bush onto the shoulder of Jamie Kuna. He couldn't hang on, incomplete. It is 2nd and 10. Tell you what, Brian Lansu aired it out. He did have a little help from the wind, but he threw that ball a long, long way.
Well, Bob, that's one of the reasons Brian Lansu started the game today and is still in there. He has got the better arm of the 2 quarterbacks, and he puts this one way up in the air, just a little behind Jamie Kuna. It's tipped. Kuna still almost comes up with it, and that could have been a big play for the Depauw Tigers.
When Brian wakes up in the morning or sleep tonight, he's going to see 92 and 93, Brian Vance and Tracy Smith in his dreams. Tracy again had some good pressure just before he got rid of the ball. Rolling to the near side this time, Lansu throws back across his body. It is incomplete, intended for Ronnie Herman on a screen, and the ball popped free, incomplete. It is 3rd down. Once again, Tracy Smith was right there, and Lansu has to throw just before he gets hit.
The Depauw offensive line has had troubles all day with the defensive line stunting, as we explained earlier. The tackles will loop to the outside, the defensive ends hook back to the inside, and it really crosses up the Depauw blocking scheme. For the most part, though, they've been able to avoid sacks and set up big screen passes. That time, Herman had it right on his hands and couldn't come up with it.
3 of 9 in 3rd down conversions, and Lansu and company face a 3rd and 10 at their own 27-yard line. Drops straight back to throw this time again, racing after him is Smith, but he gets away from him. They get a block. Now they loop it upfield. It is knocked away. Pettigrew went up, and he was in a battle for it along with Bill Warren, the middle linebacker, and the ball falls to the turf. Incomplete. It's 4th and 10, and they're going to have to punt the ball.
And again, Tracy Smith was in Lansu's face on the pressure. You'll see it here. Lansu dropping back. Tracy Smith untouched. Goes right between the offensive linemen. Almost brought Lansu down, but forced him out of the pocket and forced a bad throw.
All right, again, Roussel will punt the ball. Weezahan back around his own 30. Roussel gets away the punt. Good floater this time. Weezahan fields at about his own 31. Heads to the far side, gets a block, crosses the 40. He's got blockers 45, 50 into Depauw territory and hauled down at about the 43-yard line. Sean Gardner is the man who made the tackle inside the 45, or again, Weezahan has much more room. Good field position, 42-yard punt, 28-yard return.
Sean Gardner doing it on offense for the Tigers and on the special teams as he saves what could have been a long run by Chris Weezahan.
Ball is at the Depauw 42. Wabash in control, 13:27 to go, and the Little Giants lead 26-12.
Chris Weezahan has had an outstanding day returning punts. He came into the game with over 4,600 yards of all-purpose numbers. That is first all-time in Wabash history. He has 613 career yards in punt returns, so obviously he adds to this team not only as a pass receiver, but as a kick returner.
Sean Lyons a little eager to get that block on the first play from scrimmage. Cost the Giants 5 yards. They'll move it back, and it'll be at the 48-yard line, or 47, 1st and 15.
Something else that's very interesting about Weezahan racking up nearly 5,000 all-purpose yards is that he has only carried the ball one time in his entire career. It's all receiving and return yardage. That only carry coming on a 35-yard play off of a reverse 2 weeks ago against Rose-Hulman.
Again, you've got Cogan and Hardesty in the backfield. Weezahan splits to the right, Snively to the left. Chris Ings faces 1st and 15 from the Depauw 47. Gives the ball to Cogan up the middle. He's got running room across the 40. Smacked down around the 37-yard line. A pickup of about 10, but it'll be 2nd down and 5. Brian Foley on the Wabash side. What's cooking your side of the field?
Earlier in the week, Coach Carlson talked about fatigue in the secondary of Depauw's defense. They've exploited that with the last 2 scoring opportunities. Let's see if they continue to do that here on this possession. Now back upstairs.
10-yard run sets up 2nd down and 5. 13 minutes exactly, a little less than that now as Chris Ings brings him out of the huddle. The ball at the Depauw 37-yard line. You would think at the moment with a 14-point lead, they might try to burn some clock and run the football. And that's what they're doing. They give us to Cogan. Cogan stacked up at the line of scrimmage, fought forward for a yard, maybe 2 to the 35-yard line. We'll set up 3rd and about 3. Again, the middle of that Depauw line collapses around him and makes the play there. And Benson Henry from Houston, Texas, a junior. 6'2", 230 pounds was the guy who got the tackle at the 35-yard line. 3rd down and 5. Kevin Cogan has rushed for 77, or David Cogan rather, 70. Kevin does something else for a living. 19 rushes, 77 yards for David Cogan. Ball is at the 35-yard line. The split backs again behind Chris Ings. Weezahan split to the right, Snively to the left. 12:10 to go. They give us to Cogan up the middle, and David's got the first down as he fights inside the 30 all the way down to about the 27. And out there leading the blocking, Andy Dorrell out of Brookville, a 2-year letterman, a senior, 6'1", 235 pounds, 8 yards on the play for Cogan. Puts him over 80 today. He may get close to 100 before this day is all over.
Here's Cogan, the first man through, and as Bob mentioned, a great block by left guard Andy Dorrell out of Brookville, Indiana, to turn the defender away and seal off the running lane for Cogan. Dorrell playing guard this year. He started 8 out of 9 games last year at center, so he's obviously a very versatile offensive lineman.
Quick pitch again to Cogan, trying to get outside left, turns the corner, comes back and got a yard at the 26. 2nd down and 9, 11 minutes and 35 seconds. This thing's not over for Depauw yet by any stretch of the imagination, but they certainly have to come up with some defensive stops here and not let Depauw on the board. 2 scores, tough to make up. 3, with that much time, that little time left, 11 minutes, that'll be very difficult.
This second half is reminiscent of the 91 game in which Wabash trailed in the 4th quarter, and then David Cogan literally took over as a freshman, carried the ball every time on the final scoring drive. Here in the second half, he's just been simply outstanding.
2nd down and 8, the ball at the 26-yard line. Ings takes the snap, looks for the quick pass, fakes now on the stop and go, airs it out, intended for Weezahan. He catches it out of bounds. And back there defending on the play was Drew Marte, and he out of Winnetka, Illinois, just let it go because he knew Weezahan was out of bounds. You don't want to risk a penalty there. 3rd and 8.
Nice job by Ings on that play to make sure he threw it above the defensive back and did not risk the interception. There are the rushing yards, 164 for Depauw, 75 for Wabash. And that 75 yards is evidence of a great second half. They had -6 yards rushing in the first half. Passing yards, the exact opposite of what we expected. Wabash with 244, Depauw with 84.
Ings will go out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 8, takes the snap. Drops straight back, has plenty of time. Pump fake, rolls to the right side. He's got running room, but he drops the football, kicks it ahead, picks it up. The ball is knocked down at the 24-yard line. And now let's see, I think Ings picked it up, and the crowd down below us wanted to, the penalty for kicking the ball. I'm not sure he did it on purpose. Just as much as trying to pick it up, he kicked it ahead.
Finally, we see Ings take off and run the ball himself in a non-goal line situation, and the wet ball just slipped away, and he managed to keep it in front of him and did the smart thing by falling on it, not trying to pick it up and run.
They put it down at the 25, Scott. It's 4th down and 7. Here's the big play for Depauw. A field goal attempt of 42 yards by Alex Costa. Even the field goal makes it a 3-score differential, so this is a huge play. Kick is on its way. It is short in the end zone, so the differential remains at 14. 42 is his longest of the year. He tried to match it, but again, he's kicking into a pretty strong wind, so Depauw takes it over. They trail 26-12. John Bradley's across the way. John, what have you got?
We're here on the Wabash sideline with Gordon Colson, our Director of Alumni Affairs. Dr. Colson, what a wonderful weekend it's been for you so far.
Yeah, John, it has. It's been incredible. We had a great banquet last night in Indianapolis. Our alumni team won this morning 13-0. We're winning this game. It's great. Just want to say hello to all our alumni out there in TV land. Hope you're having as good a time as we are.
Thank you, Dr. Colson.
I think Brian Goodman is in the ball game now at quarterback for Depauw. Let's check and make absolutely sure it is. Goodman drops the throw, fires up the middle, intercepted by Vela. His second of the day, third of the year. It's the 30, takes it right down to the 24-yard line. Adam Vela with another pick. 4 today, is that right? Vela's got 2. Chad Bush has 1. And I'll get the 4th in a moment, but I think that's 4 interceptions today. And just a big, big pick here. Vela with his second interception of the day. To me, he's been the outstanding defensive player. He's been everywhere and gives them great field position at the 23-yard line.
Bob, this is just a misread by Brian Goodman. There's no receiver even close. Jay Pettigrew was across about 5 yards over on the right side, but that was a misread by Brian Goodman. It's happened all season long.
And here's the play, and again, he got crunched by Alan Patterson just as he threw the football.
But the Tigers turning it over again, giving Wabash another scoring opportunity.
Chris Ings, inside handoff to Craig Hardesty, and Hardesty's got some running room. Crashes across the 15 down to around the 13 and very close to a first down. Again, they fake the pitch to Kogan and go up the middle to Hardesty, and Hardesty's got big yards.
And as we've mentioned, Hardesty, a very hard-nosed football player. That's only the 9th time he's carried the football on the 93 season. But as you see, when called upon, he gets the job done. He's a senior out of Glenbrook, Illinois. Plays the H-back spot, also plays a little fullback. And now that Kogan has been rushing so well, they can play fake to him, set up a pass. They can set up the counter play to Hardesty as they just did there.
2nd down and 1, the ball at the 14-yard line. Chris Ings rolls himself, turns it up. He's at the 10. He's at the 5 to the 1. Chris Ings nearly had his 4th touchdown of the day as he, stretching the football out as far as he could, got to the 1-yard line. And again, the fake to Kogan occupies linebackers. He turns it upfield on the outside. And what's happened now, it appears that interception by Vela has taken a lot of steam out of the Tigers on the near sideline.
We see the end zone shot. There's the hard fake to Kogan. You see everybody swarm to him. Ings with a running lane off the left side, and that's another impressive thing about Chris Ings. For a quarterback, he is not afraid to take a hit.
Give it to Kogan, and he goes in standing up. He lost the football, but he was in the end zone when he lost it. Another 6 on the board. It is now Wabash 32, Depauw 12 with 9 minutes to go, and the extra point still to be attempted. So again, Kogan with his first touchdown today, but for Kogan on the year, that is the 15th rushing touchdown, 16 overall. He has scored 98 points this year. So David Kogan has had, again, a big afternoon. It started slowly for him, but the 1 touchdown, and again, he loses the ball when he's hit, but he's about 5 yards deep in the end zone when Farnham hit him.
And again, the left side of the offensive line got the job done. Left guard Andy Dorrell turning the defender away and sealing off the lane for Kogan, who scores his first touchdown of the day.
Alex Costa will try to add the extra point. It's on the way, and it's good. And with 9 minutes to play, it is now Wabash 33, Depauw 12. The drive covered 23 yards in 3 plays following Adam Vela's interception. It took 1 minute and 2 seconds off the clock. And now you got to believe Depauw's still not out of it, because anything can happen. A quick score, you're right back in the game. But Scott, it's going to take a really great effort, because you got to get 3 touchdowns to get back in the game.
That's right. The 2 wins that the Tigers did come back. They played very good defense in the 4th quarter and also didn't turn the ball over in those key situations. You hate to look and at this point in the game with 9 minutes left and say that could have been a turning point, but that very well could have been the nail in the coffin of the Tigers, that interception that Brian Goodman threw on that play. It's going to be interesting to see which quarterback Coach Nick Morozes goes to on this next series, whether he puts Brian Lansue back in or whether he sticks with Brian Goodman.
Costa will kick it off, but again, he's kicking into the wind. But Bradley Hill and Jamie Kuna have dropped back around the goal line as they respect the leg of Alex Costa. He has kicked a 42-yard field goal during the year. The one he attempted today was a bit short. But again, an outstanding day. David Kogan, 88 yards rushing, 22 carries, 1 touchdown. Was Wabash really -6 at halftime? It's hard to remember. But great second half, and again, the game seemed to turn on the drive following Depauw's touchdown. They cut it to 13-12. If the Tigers hold there, this could be a totally different football game. They didn't. Wabash made it 20-12. Big throw in that drive, and they really have put some numbers up ever since.
And I think the reason that was a turning point for the entire team, Bob, was that the defense held in a crucial situation for the first time really all season, and that really, I think, put some emotion and some belief in this football team, and the defense in the second half has come up with big play after big play. And as you mentioned, the Vela interception of Goodman on his first attempt of the afternoon, I think really did take the wind out of the Tigers' sails.
They're trying to get Vela to hold on this one, and he doesn't want to. Adam really doesn't want to do this, folks. This was because one of the officials told him he had to. Would you like to hold the ball when somebody kicks it out of your hand? Besides, I think Adam likes to get down and play kamikaze on these special teams anyway, so we'll see what he does after the kick. Again, Costa will kick it out of Vela's hold. 9 minutes exactly to play. Wabash up by 3 touchdowns. Right down the middle, the ball bouncing, heading for the far sideline, but doesn't get there, so it's picked up by Kuna. Kuna tried to point out the people that need to be blocked. He cuts it back up the middle of the field, crosses the 25, gets to about the 27 before he's finally ridden down. And one of those coming over for Wabash to knock him down, David Hubster. 14-yard return for Jamie Kuna, and now this is really a do-or-die drive for Depauw.
Tigers with their backs to the wall. They really need to put something in, and Sean Gardner hobbling off the field again. That's not good for Depauw. He's been the biggest part of their offense today. Ronnie Herman's back in there. He's going to come in the slot on this play, but he's been hurt today too, Bob.
Mark Melchiori is the only running back now. 8:54 to go. Goodman drops to throw. Throws one over the middle, incomplete, off the fingertips of Bradley Hill. Let's check with Amanda Lotz. Amanda?
I'm here with Max Thorlton, 1961 graduate and Director of Alumni Relations. Not only do we have a full house here at Blackstock, but we've got alumni watching in 35 different cities. Max, do you have a word for them?
I sure do. I want to welcome all of the Depauw alums across the country, from Seattle to Summit, New Jersey, from Detroit down to Fort Worth, Texas. And particularly express my gratitude to the Depauw organizers who made these great telecasts possible. Without your help, it couldn't have happened. Thanks very much.
Brian Goodman has fumbled, and Wabash has recovered at about the 25-yard line. That is exactly what Depauw did not need. Wabash with another takeaway at the 25-yard line, and the turnover gives the Giants the football in great field position again already with a 21-point lead.
Bob, once again, just very characteristic of the Tigers season. Things just don't fall into place. The Little Giants recover the ball, and it's really too bad for Brian Goodman, who's had a good career at Depauw, comes into the game ranked 5th as the all-time leading passer in Depauw history, and 2 turnovers on these last 2 drives for the Tigers.
They say it's at the 27. Wabash with great field position again. The ball is given to Kogan. Kogan trying to break a tackle, trying to get to the outside, being chased to the far side, and Mike Callahan runs him down at about the 33 for a big loss on the play. Callahan not quitting at all out of West Lafayette, 6'3", 216 pounds. Horse-collared Kogan on the far sideline and dropped him for what appears to be about a 6-yard loss. Less than 8.5 minutes to go in the football game. They put it down at the 33. Loss of 6, second down and 16. Callahan with the tackle, and now Chris Ings and company leading 33-12. They don't want to get real fancy here, but you also would like to burn some time, and the only way you can do that is with first down, so we'll see what they do. Time remaining in the ball game, 8 minutes. As Chris Ings out of the shotgun. Inside handoff to Hardesty, heads to the... No, Ings keeps it himself and dives ahead of the 30. Good fake. And Chris carries the ball down around the 30-yard line. Not a tremendous gain on the play of about 3 yards. It sets up 3rd down and 12, but a good move inside as he faked the handoff to Hardesty and kept it himself. Again, burning some time on the clock. We're down around 7.5 minutes to go. 33-12. Wabash with the lead and the ball inside, just inside the 30-yard line of Depauw. Hardesty and Snively go wide to the left side. Weezahan wide to the right. Again, on a 3rd and 12, they'll have Ings back to throw. Ings rolls right, sets, throws blocked at the line of scrimmage. Nice defensive play. And coming across, is that Timmy Hedrick out of New Palestine who knocked it down? Tim Hedrick got it and knocked it away as Ings tried. It's the 2nd time today in the middle of the field he's tried to throw the ball a little bit sidearm. The first one was the one that wound up as being an interception. This time it was knocked down. And Frazier will try to position Depauw deep in their own territory with a punt. You know the field goal, he's kind of out of range there, and they were hustling to get everybody onto the field now. Bill Warren, the personal protector. The snap is high again, but Frazier pulls it down, gets the kick away, an end-over-end kick, spinning down at about the 20, and it's going to be down by Wabash at about the 18-yard line. Not much of a punt. Mike Mannion downed it there. Let's go to the far sideline, the Wabash sideline, and John Bradley.
We're here on the sideline with Tim Kennedy. He's a former Little Giant All-American. Tim, can you tell us what it's like to play in a national championship game?
Well, my sophomore year in 1977, we went to the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl in Phoenix City, Alabama, national championship game. It was obviously very exciting. It was a great opportunity for all the players and for the school to get national media attention for a small school like Wabash. It was all around a terrific experience, and I'm glad I was able to participate.
All right, that's great. Thanks a lot, Tim.
Brian Goodman back to throw, throws over the middle. This one's complete, but for a short gain out to about the 24. A gain on the play of just about 5 yards. Sean Gardner, the receiver. And I think for Brian Goodman, that's a real confidence builder there. He had thrown an interception. He had fumbled a snap. They've got to get something going. There's still just under 7 minutes to go. A lot of time left, but they need 3 scores to tie. Again, Goodman drops to throw. Sets, looks, throws up the middle, completed to Jamie Kuna. Kuna tries to shake a tackle, can't quite, gets to the 39. Mike Mannion knocks him down. Scott?
Bob, Brian Goodman's in the game right now for one specific reason. That's because he's the better of the 2 quarterbacks at running the no-huddle offense. You see the Tigers going to it now. He led the Tigers to a comeback in their loss at Manchester. They scored 12 points in the 4th quarter, even though they lost, and so Goodman in there to direct the offense.
All right, Brian Goodman has him at the 39-yard line, first down, 6 minutes, 29 seconds. The clock is moving. Goodman again drops to throw. Again sets up, throws to the sideline, complete to Ronnie Herman, who gets out of bounds at about the 45, maybe just across to the 46. The clock stops, though, with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go. That's what they've got to do, use the sideline, stop the clock with the first downs. They've got to move the chains, move the football, but they've got to score rather quickly. They can't take a long, long drive here because there just isn't much time. Bradley Hill wide to the far side. Jamie Kuna wide to the near side. Goodman on a 2nd down and 3 from his own 46-yard line. Again drops to throw. Pretty good protection. Throws to the sideline. Bradley Hill's got it at the 45. Gives ground. Breaks the tackle and gets to about the Wabash 43 before he's dropped, but that is again a first down.
Bob, you talk about confidence building. Brian Goodman not giving up in this ball game, even though the Tigers are down with 6 minutes to play. He's coming back. He's now completed about 3 or 4 passes in a row, and the Tigers moving the ball down the field very well.
11-yard gain there. The ball is at the Wabash 43. First down for Depauw with 6 minutes exactly left to go in the game. Goodman again drops to throw. This time pressure, but he steps up in the pocket. He's going to run the ball at the 40, hauled down at about the 39. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. At that time, he didn't have much else to do. He had to do something with the football. Nobody open. He ran it up the middle and picked up some yardage before Alan Patterson wrapped him up. 2nd down and 6. Goodman in the game, 4 of 6, 38 yards, 1 interception. That was the first pass he threw. Goodman again drops to throw. Looks, sets, rolls to the near side, being chased by Patterson. On the run, fires on the run, wide open is Kuna at the 20. He's at the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown, Jamie Kuna. A very quick score that Wabash desperately, or that Depauw desperately needed. The play covered 39 yards, and now it is 33-18.
Well, Bob, the Tigers at times self-destructing today. They come up with a huge drive here. Brian Goodman directs it, gets the touchdown pass to Jamie Kuna, and this is the spirit of this Depauw Tiger team. They may have appeared to be dead, but they are not. They're coming back, and Jamie Kuna with a beautiful dive into the end zone for the touchdown.
All right, now will Mike Fingerhut go for one here? It appears he will. He's on the field. 33-18 is the score. Ronnie Herman will be the guy who will hold the football on the snap, and Fingerhut will try to add the 19th point. Waiting for the snap. It's high. The snap. The ball is down. The kick is up. It's good. With 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go, it is Wabash 33, Depauw 19. And again, a 39-yard throw from Brian Goodman to Jamie Kuna. And that does it. An 81-yard drive in 6 plays, covering only a minute and 49 seconds. And again, Brian Goodman flushed out of the pocket with Alan Patterson in hot pursuit. Just before he gets to the sideline, turns and actually throws on the run off the wrong foot, but Kuna is wide open at the 20, and he's able to win the foot race down the sideline into the end zone. The play covered 39 yards, and he just missed that sideline. But in any event, he's in the end zone. It's 33-19.
Well, Jamie Kuna, who went to the Nationals in diving for the Depauw swimming team last year, comes up with a very acrobatic dive into the end zone here. And a credit Brian Goodman on that play for not being flustered as he rolls out of the pocket and completes the pass to Kuna. Very heads-up, smart play by Brian Goodman.
Now you would think that there's probably going to be an onside kick, so the hands team on for Wabash right now. Lots of receivers with the good hands up close. And Mike Fingerhut is the guy who's got to execute this, and then somebody would have to recover. Or Wabash, with 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go, would certainly have a chance to, in good field position, move down and perhaps even get some more points. Wabash leading by 14, 33-19 with 5:18 to go. But again, this is one of those things where you never know.
Bob, you mentioned the hands team up front for Wabash. Weezahan, Snively, Baker, Borgert, and backup quarterback Keith Hefner along that front return line for Wabash. So all very sure-handed skill players ready for Fingerhut's onside kick.
Benjamin Fingerhut will kick it off for the Depauw Tigers.
The Tigers are going to need a big defensive stop, and you never know what could happen. We've talked about it. 2 comeback wins for the Depauw Tigers this season, and with about 5:18 remaining in the game, anything is possible here at Blackstock Stadium.
All right, let's see how Benjamin executes it here. The kick is on its way, bouncing around, a high kick, and it's grabbed by Wabash. They control the football as Craig Hardesty picked it off on the hop and took it right out of bounds, so it's just into Depauw territory. But it is Wabash football. Now let's go to the Depauw sideline, and down there is Gregor Mann. Gregor?
Just a minute ago here on the Depauw sideline, heads were hanging low, and it seemed as though all hope was gone from the Tigers. But that touchdown seemed to rekindle the Tigers' fire and get some hope back in them. But with that failed kickoff right there, the Tigers are starting again to get a little bit down, but we'll see what will happen here.
All right, the ball is at the 48-yard line of Depauw. It's in possession of Wabash. The Little Giants with the lead. The give is up the middle to Kogan. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and wrapped up right there. Perhaps got back to the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a half a yard on the play. Mike Gramhofer was one of those who submerged on the play, and also in on it was John Kramer. No yards, nothing on the play. 2nd down and 10. Clock ticks away, though. Less than 5 minutes to go. The clock is certainly an ally of Wabash right now, with the Little Giants leading 33-19. Ball is again at the Depauw 48-yard line. 2nd down. Snively wide to the left, Weezahan wide to the right. Hardesty sets up as a wingback to the right. Kogan is the only running back behind Chris Ings. Now they send Hardesty in motion, but just as he heads that way, Ings says, whoops, something's wrong, I don't like this, timeout. So with 4:35 to go in the game, Wabash stops the clock. Let's again check with Amanda Lotz on the Depauw sideline. Amanda?
I'm here with Bob Bribley, class of 1935, who's on the 33 undefeated, unscored upon team. Bob, what do you remember of the Monon game back in 33?
Well, in 33, I remember the fact that Wabash was as tough as usual, but we were unusually coordinated that day. And so with our good passing and with the strong running of our fullback, Red Pierce particularly, plus all the other good defensive action of our team, we were able to hold off Wabash and make the 2 crucial touchdowns that won 14-0.
Great. Thanks a lot.
We're back here at Blackstock Stadium. It's 33-19 in favor of Wabash. 4 minutes and 35 seconds to go. It is 2nd and 10 for Wabash. They recovered the onside kick at the 48 of Depauw. First play got nothing, but now they've got to come up with something. If the Depauw Tigers can hold them here, they certainly have a chance to get decent field position and do something about the 14-point deficit. 2 wideouts to the left, both Weezahan and Snively out that way. Ings will go out of the shotgun. With Kogan in motion, Ings rolls to the left side. We got a flag down as Ings tucks the ball, runs himself. He's at the 45, cuts back in, tripped up at the 40, dives for the first down stick, and he's very, very close. But the problem now is the flag and what that is. The officials talking, I think we got a illegal procedure against Wabash. Rub it out. 5-yard penalty. We'll move it back into Wabash end of the field. Clock ticks down to 4 minutes and 28 seconds. It stopped at the moment with a penalty. Folks of all ages here to see this game. Won't tell you who the oldest is. I may qualify, but the youngest, certainly, that's one of them right there, riding on his dad's shoulders. What a great way to see the game. Penalties in this game. Wabash is penalized 6 times for 42 yards. Depauw 4 times for 39 yards. Second down and 15 for Wabash. The ball is at their own 47. 4 minutes and 22 seconds. The clock is moving. Wabash with the football, and the penalty hurt him 5 yards, but they still get to run a couple of plays. Ings with both backs, well, they were set. Now Hardesty repositions to the right of Kogan. Ings keeps the ball himself, cuts up the middle, runs into traffic, and goes down short of midfield. Again, Graham Hoffer was one of those there, but I think he was the second guy, as off the bottom of the stack, Tim Hedrick again in there with the tackle at about the 48 or 49. They'll put it down at the 49, set up 3rd and 16. Scott?
The Tigers coming up with some big defensive stops here after that touchdown pass from Brian Goodman to Jamie Kuna. But time is ticking down. The Tigers down by 14 points. They have to hold them on 3rd here, get the ball back, and score within 3 or 4 plays on the next possession.
It is 3rd down and 14 for Wabash at their own 49-yard line. 3:27 with the clock moving. Ings will send Snively in motion to the far side. Takes the snap out of the shotgun, drops to throw. Gets some pressure, now stands in, throws one over the middle, incomplete. So it'll be now 4th down. The clock stops with 3:17 to go. And Sean Frazier coming on. Now the one thing that Depauw certainly can take heart in, the snaps to the punter, Sean Frazier, have not been good ones today. One sailed over his head for a safety. 2 others have been high. So Frazier drops back, and we'll see what happens here. Sands outstretched. This is a pretty good snap. They're coming for it, but they don't get it. But it's a high floating kick. Fair catch call for by Bradley Hill. Never touch it. Ball hits at the 35, bounces sideways. Still rolling at the 35, inside of the 34. But good field position with 3:06 to go on a 17-yard punt from Sean Frazier. So again, good field position for Depauw, but the clock is not their ally. 3:06 to go. They need a quick touchdown.
Tigers are going to have to run a controlled passing game. They're going to have to run to the sidelines. I look for Jay Pettigrew, the tight end, number 84, a freshman out of Indianapolis, to get some of the catches, and either Bradley Hill or Jamie Kuna on the sidelines, but they can't afford to throw across the middle. That'll just eat up time.
All right. Again, Hill comes wide to the near side. Kuna wide to the far. Goodman drops to throw. Sets up, has protection. Throws one over the middle, not complete. Diving, a good attempt, Bradley Hill, but he couldn't quite catch up with it about the Wabash 45. 2nd down and 10, 3:01 to go in the game, and Wabash leads 33-19. There have been television parties all across the country, and again, it's been a good football game, and it's one of those that still, with 3 minutes to go in the game, is not decided yet. Brian Goodman takes the snap and drops to throw one more time. Sets, looks, throws one over the middle. Bradley Hill catches this in Wabash territory at the 48-yard line, sets up a 1st down, and the clock stops.
Well, Bob, it just proves that Coach Nick Morozis is a lot better coach than I am. I said they wouldn't throw over the middle, but they have, and with success here on this drive.
And again, the clock stops because of the 1st down. 2 minutes and 54 seconds. The play covered 17 yards. 1st down, the clock starts again as Goodman bows under. 2:50 to play in the game as he waits the snap. Takes it and drops straight back. Sets again, gets good protection, looks, rolls to the near side. Still, look, he's going to run. Goodman comes forward to the 45. He is going to get to the sideline, and did he get out of bounds? I don't think so. At the 42-yard line, the clock continues to roll. And on the far sideline, Brian Foley has the Wabash point of view.
Even with 2.5 minutes to go and 14-point lead for Wabash, they are stressing to keep the intensity and stay within the game plan down here.
Gain of 6. 2nd down and 4. 2:20 to go in the game. Goodman, who didn't get the clock stopped, bows under center one more time. Takes it, drops straight back one more time, sets up, gets some pressure, throws to the sideline, incomplete. Diving back, trying to make the catch, Jim Fasella, but he couldn't get there. It is 3rd down and 4. The ball is at the Wabash 42. Trailing by 2 touchdowns with 2:09 to go, they are definitely in 4-down territory. No question there, but on 3rd down conversions, Depauw is only 3 of 9, and the Tigers burn a timeout. One of the 2 they had remaining. Call a timeout with the clock stopped, and I'm sure the coaching staff probably isn't very pleased with that. Brian Goodman comes back to the sideline to talk with the man who started the game, Brian Lansu, and also Nick Morosis to decide what they need to do here. The ball is at the Wabash 42-yard line. It's got they've got to score. You've mentioned they've been using the plays up the middle, which, unless you get a first down, don't stop the clock. But they certainly have been picking up yards. And I think what Wabash is doing now, they're inviting them to throw the ball up the middle. They'll give them the 10 or 15-yarders, keep them out of the end zone, and keep the clock moving.
That's right. I think on those first 2 plays we saw go across the middle, Brian Goodman was reading that coverage very well, as there weren't any Wabash defenders around there. But I think you're right, that probably was intentional. Force them into the middle. Don't let them get out on the sidelines where they could stop the clock. Wabash running a very good defensive scheme right now, and the Tigers just have to put something up on the board. They don't have much time left, just about 2:09 remaining, down by 14 points.
And again, they face a 3rd down and 5, and every play is critical, but in order to advance, they've got to pick up a first down. You think they might try to do that on this play to set something up. Brian Goodman, who came on in relief of Brian Lansu in the 4th quarter, he's thrown an interception, he's fumbled the ball away, but he's also thrown a touchdown pass to Jamie Kuna. Again, 3rd down and 5. Goodman drops to throw, sets up, lofts one down the middle, intended for Pettigrew, too far. It hit the helmet of a defender and bounced clear. Chad Bush coming across, had the ball hit him in the helmet and bounced free. It is now 4th down and 5. I think he thought the ball was closer to Pettigrew than it was, and instead of going for the interception, he wanted to make sure Pettigrew went no further. 4th and 5 coming up.
We're going to take a look at this play. The ball in the air, Pettigrew trying to get it, but it does hit off the helmet of the Wabash player. Bounces out. Jamie Kuna a couple yards away from it, can't come up with it. And that brings up the 4th down situation for the Depauw Tigers.
2 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the game. 4th and 5 Depauw. The ball is at the Wabash 42-yard line. Again, Goodman drops to throw. Sets, throws one over the middle. Bradley Hill's got it, first down at the 28-yard line. Nice throw, maybe a little bit high. Mike Mannion made sure there was no interference. He nailed him. Got him. There was no gain on the play after the catch. The ball's at the 27, though. It is first down with 1:58. The clock stops one more time. 15-yard play. Again, Goodman's had a decent 4th quarter after the interception. But under 2 minutes to go, he needs a quick score. Drops to throw. Sets. Throws to the sideline. Bounced and caught on the run by Kuna. Kuna's at the 5. Touchdown, Jamie Kuna. The deflection, and Jamie Kuna catches his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. And all of a sudden, it's 33-25. And this is still a football game with 1:47 to go.
Bob, I don't believe that play. That is just absolutely incredible. I thought that ball was going to get picked up, and all of a sudden, Jamie Kuna picks it up out of the air, runs into the end zone. Bob, strange things happen in Monon Bell games of this much emotion and this much intensity, and we're seeing it here as the Tigers are getting back in the ball game. The extra point by Ben Fingerhut would bring them within 7 with 1:47 left to play, and as we've mentioned on a number of occasions, the Tigers have come back this year. They've won 2 games on comeback victories, and hopefully for the Tigers we'll see a 3rd here.
Ronnie Herman will hold the ball, and Benjamin Fingerhut will put it through the uprights. He does, and with 1:47 to go, you got a 1-touchdown game. It's now Wabash 33, Depauw 26. And again, Benjamin Fingerhut has made some big kicks in this game, extra points that have kept his team in the game, plus the field goal, and it's a 7-point game with 1:47 to go.
Well, we're going to take a look at the touchdown here. Brian Goodman steps back to pass, has good time. We see isolation on Kuna as he looks for the pass. It gets tipped, and then he reaches out, grabs it, runs into the end zone, taking on a Wabash defender as he puts his head and the ball into the end zone, gets the Tigers back into the ball game. We're going to see another angle. Brian Goodman, all kinds of time to throw that. Luckily, it wasn't picked off, and Kuna runs in for his 2nd touchdown of the day. Jamie Kuna, the 5'8" receiver out of Westford, Massachusetts, the sophomore, the big play guy for the Tigers all season long. He does it again, and Bob, this is the 10th consecutive game that Kuna has caught a pass. He's caught one in every game so far this season.
6 plays, 65 yards. There was Ryan Pitcock who had the ball deflect off his hands right into Kuna's hands for the touchdown, and it is 33-26 with 1:47 left to go. And again, Benjamin Fingerhut will kick it off. will attempt the onside kick. The last time, Craig Hardesty came up with the ball on the sideline. Almost executed, but not quite. But this time, with only one timeout left, they need to come up with a football.
Bob, this worked for the Tigers against Manchester. They ran an onside kick in trying to come back, and it worked. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come back and win, but it has worked with some success for Depauw this year.
Again, Benjamin Fingerhut will kick it off. Let's see how it plays out here. He's ready. So is the hands team of Wabash. The ball is bouncing around. Remember, it's got to go 10 yards. It does not and goes out of bounds. It should belong to Wabash. The flag drops down. Fingerhut tried to move it along with a couple of bounces this time. He got that accomplished, but the ball didn't travel 10 yards. Thus, Wabash comes up with the football with 1 minute and 47 seconds to go. Now, it takes a real big mistake. A fumble, something you just flat don't think about. Illegal procedure against Depauw on the kickoff. And Wabash will take over at the Depauw 42-yard line.
Well, Bob, I talked to Coach Nick yesterday, and he said that the season now had been reduced to 60 minutes, the 60 minutes of this football game, and their slogan this year was 60 minutes, a lifetime to remember. Right now, this season has come down to the last 1 minute and 47 seconds, and the Depauw Tigers putting it all on the line.
The Wabash offense trying to quiet the Wabash crowd. Ings gives the ball to Cogan. Cogan strips a tackle, heads for the 35. He's at the 30. He's at the 25, and John Holloway hustles him out of bounds along with Drew Marte across the way inside the 20-yard line. See where they're going to mark it down at about the 17, I think, is where they put it down. But a big run for Cogan that could put him over 100 yards rushing today, even with the loss that he had on the one series ago. 1 minute and 39 seconds remaining. But again, Depauw trying to strip the football. You got to make the tackle. 25-yard run for Cogan. 1:39 to go. The ball is at the Depauw 17. Wabash leads 33-26. But again, when you run the football like that, you take the chance of a fumble. Again, Chris Ings bows under. Gives the ball to Cogan. Same play. Cogan gets by one, not a second, and knocked down on the sideline across the way, but the clock continues to run. Did not get to the 10-yard line, but he certainly did pick up a couple of yards on the play. And we'll see where they put it down at about let's see whether it's the 11 or the 12. Pick up on the play of 5 or 6, depending on where they put the football down. They put it down at the 11, give him 6 yards, second down and 4. Clock moves on, about 1 minute and 10 to play. Wabash leading 33-26. Again, it's been a very good football game, hard-fought football game by both teams. Chris Ings, man under center, less than 1 minute to go in the game. He gives it to Cogan again. Cogan runs to the end zone, touchdown! An 11-yard touchdown run for David Cogan, and that ices it for Wabash. That makes it 39-26 in favor of Wabash. A big run for Cogan right off the left side of the line, and the big hole was open there, and he just rumbled into the end zone for the second time today. And just an outstanding day for David Cogan out of Zionsville. There was doubt through midweek that he would play. He hasn't played. He's been a star in the ball game, and particularly in the second half. Wabash, Alex Costa will try to add the 40th point. 52.6 seconds to go. Costa out of the hold of Hefner. It's down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 52.6 seconds to go, Wabash has regained a 2-touchdown lead, 40-26. Watch on the run for Cogan on the second touchdown. Again, a huge hole. Once he clears the line of scrimmage, Craig Hardesty with a good seal block. Once he gets by the line of scrimmage, there's nobody there. And Cogan is able to walk into the end zone. If that had been from his own 10, he would still be running, would have gone 90 yards. A big, big play. Depauw had to gamble. The gamble did not pay off. Wabash now with a 14-point lead and just under 53 seconds left to go in the game.
Well, Bob, no matter what the outcome of this ball game, it has certainly been a historic one here in the 100th game between Depauw and Wabash. Wabash with the lead here by 14 points, under a minute to play, as you said. And, certainly we've seen strange things happen here today, but if the Little Giants do go on to win, they'll take the series advantage at 46, 45, and 9 after 100 games and 103 years. And it certainly has been one for the record books and the ages here today.
There was only one other series in college football that going into its 100th game was tied. That was Baylor and TCU this year. TCU won that game, and they have taken a one-game lead in their 100-game series as well. 52.6 seconds left. 40-26 in favor of Wabash. The Little Giants will kick it off. Jamie Kuna scored twice on pass receptions, and Bradley Hill back deep. Both have the capabilities of going the distance. Costa's going to knuckleball it. He knew that too. Ball is scooped up by Gardner. Gardner at the 30-yard line trying to get upfield, gets to about the 33, 34, and whoops, he met the Wabash student body. And they drop him at about the 34-yard line. A return of just 4 yards. That last drive, by the way, for Wabash, 4 plays, 42 yards, 45 seconds. A quick score, both big plays, all 3 big plays turned in by David Kogan. So the ball at the 34-yard line. Ryan Goodman comes back in with 46.9 seconds to go. Jim Fasella, the senior, who's been out with that knee injury until the Franklin game last week, hustles back onto the field. He'll be one of the receivers. He heads wide to the right. Bradley Hill comes wide to the left. Gardner in the game. I think Ronnie Herman is in there as well. And Ryan Goodman, the quarterback, stumbles but maintains his balance. Drops to throw, being chased, throws the ball upfield over the head of Bradley Hill at about the midfield stripe. He was being chased by Bill Warren, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Well, the Tigers certainly haven't played an imperfect game today. In fact, they've killed themselves with a lot of mistakes, but it has been a gutsy effort by this Depauw team. They'll end the season with a 2-8 record, but they never gave up this season, and even here in the 4th quarter when they were down by 3 scores.
Again, Brian Goodman on 2nd down with 39.7 seconds to go. Drops straight back to throw. Sets, looks, rolls to the near side, throws one upfield, caught by Bradley Hill at about the 50-yard line, and Bill Warren hit him immediately. The clock will stop for the first down, a play covering 16 yards. It's first down with 31.5 seconds to go. And Goodman has thrown the ball well, particularly after throwing an interception on his first throw and fumbling on the next possession. He has bounced back with an outstanding 4th quarter, including 2 touchdown throws to Jamie Kuna. Ball at midfield. It is first down and 10. 27.1 seconds to go on the clock moving. Again, Goodman juggles, drops to throw, sets, throws to the sideline, caught by Herman. Herman is hit and gets to the sideline, but not out of bounds at the Wabash 45. Pickup of 5, with the clock down to 13 seconds. They're going to have to hustle to get another play off. 8 seconds to go. Maybe time for one more if Goodman takes the snap. He downs it quickly, stops it with 4.2 seconds to go. The fans start out from the Wabash side of the field, but there's still 4.2 seconds to go. Security trying to get him back into the stands for one more play.
Kind of reminiscent of the Cal-Stanford game about 12 years ago when the Stanford band ran onto the field during the middle of a kick return. But they're going to get the Wabash students off the field. But, Bob, you're right. It has been an outstanding rebound by Brian Goodman, who did have those 2 turnovers on his first 2 possessions. And he's come in and really closed out his career with an excellent 4th quarter for the Depauw Tigers.
Again, he faces 2nd down and 45 yards if he's going to score with 4.2 seconds. Back to throw is Goodman. Sets up. Could be the last play of the game, and he's airing it out deep toward the end zone. The ball is batted up into the air and intercepted by Wabash to end the game. The final score from Blackstock Stadium, it is Wabash 40, Depauw 26. We'll be back after this short break. This is the Monon Bell Television Network. Doug.
56 Sports College Football is partially underwritten by the following.
State news, local news, lots of people sharing views. Food, music, weather, sports, business, TV, stock reports, world news, people news, film stage, book reviews, comics, coupons, cars, and trucks.
It doesn't take a lot of bucks.
Photos, features, classifieds, we print it all with lots of pride. When you take us once a day, all of this will come your way. When you take us once a day, good things will come your way.
Read the Post-Tribune.
Sawyer College offers fast training and job placement assistance to fill the demand for specialists in medical assisting, secretarial administration, accounting, computers, paralegal, and security. Good jobs are waiting. Call Sawyer for a career in months, not years. Financial aid available.
St. Mary Medical Center Health and Rehabilitation Spectrum is an outpatient center for the prevention, evaluation, and treatment of injured workers and athletes. Located in Hobart, the Spectrum offers industrial rehabilitation, sports medicine, Phase 3 cardiac rehab, and occupational health and wellness programs. For details, 1-800-932-6184.
Horizon Graphic Apparel, a design and custom embroidery company, reproduces team, club, or company names and logos on shirts, hats, and jackets. Our in-house design department can meet your individual needs for all types of apparel and accessory items. Computer designed for exact detail. Horizon Graphic Apparel and Custom Embroidery, 1752 East Porter in Crown Point, 663-4427.
And by the financial support of viewers like you.
You're watching Northwest Indiana Public Television, Channel 56.
They win by 14, 40-26. Joe Emick, somewhere in that mass of humanity, has Greg Carlson. Joe?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bob Lamy. Victoria's head football coach Greg Carlson joins me here on the Wabash sideline. Greg, in the first half, it seemed that you got away offensively from everything you'd done all year. Then you come back in the second half, and I thought the key was getting Kogan involved and using Ing's mobility.
Right. We wanted to get David involved in the first half, but we just weren't functioning very well. We were not very productive on first down. That was really hurting us.
Yeah.
We utilized our weak side passing game a little bit more than we have this year, and that was pretty effective in the second half.
The defense also came up big. We remember the homecoming game against Anderson. Offense scored, defense gave up points. They didn't do that today.
Now, our defense should not be feel bad about the comeback by Depauw. That was offensive failure. We had 2 possessions down in their half of the field and did nothing with the football. Our defense played a magnificent game. I salute them. They played hard all the game. They played as well as they could play today. I'm really proud of our defense.
Greg, thank you very much for your time and congratulations on a big win. Let's go back up to the booth and Bob Lamy.
Again, Wabash with a 40-26 win. Depauw editor Brian Boak has created a new edition of the Ballad of the Monon Bell. For all those alums out there, here it is.
Long before the cannonball traveled through her town, the state of Indiana owned a jewel of a crown. The train they called the Monon, the stories they still tell, the cavemen and the tigers playing for her bell. It rode like a masthead on Engine 99. Crawfordsville, the Green Castle, and further down the line. The cavemen came from Wabash and the tigers from Depauw. Since 1890 they have played the last game every fall. Many years they played for pride, oh the stories they could tell. Then in 32 the Monon train gave up her precious bell. They said, here, take this symbol of smoke and fire and grit, and give it to the winner, a symbol not to quit. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game of the fall. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Suddenly the boys of autumn had a fire in their eyes, blood and spit, but never quit fighting for the prize. The medal to the victor, the symbol to the school, Wabash and Depauw became a yearly duel. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Now history has recorded the players in their game, and to this day they still play for the bell in Monon's name. Those who've gone before return each November day, swapping stories and legends for those who did not play. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Ring the bell
It's a shame good things have to come to an end, but this Monon Bell game, the 100th, has Wabash with a 40-26 win. And Joe Emick, it's been fun working with you. Job well done.
Blamey, it's been an outstanding afternoon. Fun working with you. Big thanks to the Wabash sideline reporters, John Bradley and Brian Foley, for their work. Let's go back across the crowded field to talk to Amanda.
For Amanda Lotz from Depauw, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next year.
We saw an inspired game. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoyed bringing it to you, especially my mom and dad at Disneyland Hotel. From Gregor to you, peace.
A great football game, and it would be remiss if we didn't talk to Scott McGregor. Scott, I know your heart's a little heavy right now, but I thought Depauw gave a great effort today in a super football game.
Despite the loss, it's an outstanding 100th game between Depauw and Wabash. The history only gets thicker, and Bob, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I'm very glad I had the opportunity to do so.
Great football game, 40-26. Let's take a look at the numbers here. And first of all, while we flash that up, a big thanks to Bill Wagner here at Depauw, and also to Jim Abaddon over at Wabash. Without those two fellows, we could not have done things. First downs, well, Depauw had a slight edge there. Net yards, Depauw had a tremendous edge by nearly 80 yards. The rushing statistics, 168 for Depauw, 124 for Wabash, most of all in the second half. Turnovers, 6 for Depauw, including the last play of the game. Some of them really hurt. The 100th game is over, but it's going to live in memory for a long time. The final score will be there too, 40-26. For the players, the fans, and those of you who watched on television, it's a game you'll never remember. For all of us from here at Blackstock Stadium, thanks very much. The final, Wabash 40, Depauw 26.
Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Suddenly the boys of autumn had a fire in their eyes, blood and spit, but never quit fighting for the prize. The medal to the victor, the symbol to the school, Wabash and Depauw became a yearly duel. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Now history has recorded the players in their game, and to this day they still play for the bell in Monon's name. Those who've gone before return each November day, swapping stories and legends for those who did not play. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall. Ring the bell for Wabash, ring for old Depauw, ring the bell for victory in the last game every fall.
Pull up a chair and have a chat.